Hey there YouTube, Air of Carthage here, going to bring you the 3 matches that I played for the first round of Point Man's Commentator Tournament. I'll let you see how I did. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but so I have to play Prussian Prince, best 2 out of 3. I have to play as the Oda, he plays as the Date, and we're playing on the Foothills map. Wasn't real excited about this map being one of the ones that's in here, just because one of the strategies that I like to use is to get some cav out there and mix people up, but this map is a great map for people to play defensively with lots of spears, so I was indeed extremely worried about Prussian Prince playing with that type of army. I knew that he had been preparing for this match, and as far as myself, I didn't really feel like playing a whole bunch of practice matches. I just wanted to play and see how I did. I'm not a real competitive person. I do like to compete just to challenge myself, but when it comes down to it, if I lose, I'm pretty okay with losing. So in any case, here's the match. I've brought 2 Bow Warrior Monks. I'm fighting with an army that I'm not really used to, just because I kind of anticipated that I would need it. So I brought 2 Bow Warrior Monks, I think 6 Yari-Ashigaru. I've got 4 up front. They all have 3 to 4 chevrons. I've got 2 Matchlock Samurai, 4 Katana Samurais, my striking infantry. Then I got 2 more Yari-Ashigaru. I got Oda Nobunaga. And then I've got 2 Yari... 2 Yari... Thought I had 2 Yari Cav. Yeah, I do have 2 Yari Cav. I forgot this is Prussian Prince's replay. One of them is hid right here. I forgot to save the game, so he had to send me the replay. This is actually from his perspective. And he's using these 2 Yari-Ashigaru as meat shield for his 4 Bow Warrior Monks, 2 Matchlock Samurai, and he's got kind of a mobile defensive box going on right here. I call it the mobile noob box, although Prussian Prince most definitely is not a noob. So when I say that, I'm not trying to characterize him. So in any case, he's got this box here with all of his spears for defense. It looks like he's got 5 of them, plus the 2 up front, so 7 Yari-Ashigaru, and then he's got a bunch of Katana Samurai. I was surprised he did not bring any Nodachi Samurai. So I immediately targeted my archers onto his bow monks, but I don't have a prayer of winning this skirmish fight, and as you can see, this map is very tricky, and I've already made a mistake here. I shouldn't have come to face head-on with his army, so I've already lost this battle, in my opinion. Now some of you can say, well, you never know if you're going to lose the battle. Trust me, whenever I did this and realized what I'd done, I've lost the battle. You cannot come to face off against someone who's just going to flat out beat you like this, because then they're going to put you at a disadvantage. I should have done something, but you can see that Prussian Prince has his army set up nicely. He's got the meat shield up front to keep me from being able to charge. He's got the back guarded, and he's got these 2 Matchlock Samurai right behind, so even if I do charge up some infantry, he's going to shoot the crap out of him. So I should have never attacked this army from the front. I should have never even moved to this position. I should have gone around over here and helped try and break his army up over this terrain. So like I said, I lost this battle right there with that move. Very stupid. So at this point, I've pretty much decided I've lost. I maybe should have changed my position somewhere else. But I was like, you know what, I'm just going to fight. I'm going to give this the best run I can. And my best run actually turns out to be really poor. But that's just the way it's going to work here. When I pull my Matchlock Samurai up, I actually made the mistake with these guys of not clicking the proper target. I should have targeted his Matchlock units. Instead, I did exactly what he wanted and accidentally fired right into his Yari-Ashigaru. This is going to, again, give him another advantage. So I've lost this battle in 2 different ways already. So that was really stupid. Really stupid. I mean, it does blast the crap out of some of his infantry, but he's got plenty of Yari-Ashigaru. He's not hurting for those guys. And you can see that he started to charge his swords, but then I think he realized why. I can just sit back here with my Matchlock and pound the crap out of air, because he's now made that mistake, and he's right to do so. He is going to go ahead and charge a few swords forward. I would have waited even longer. And at this point, I'm just kind of confounded as to what to do. And I've got my... I haven't even... let's see, what did I do with my Cav? I can't remember what I did with my Cav at this point. I've got my general in stand and fight just because I'm trying to keep my men motivated. Like I said, at this point, I'm pretty well screwed. Prussian Prince totally got the better of me here. So here comes my Yari Cav out of hiding over here. I'm going to try and do something with him, but my opponent has a good setup. He can easily just move these spears to block my entry. Again, I should have never engaged his army from this position. Never, never, ever engaged his army from this position. That's a mistake that I really shouldn't have made. but I did. And so now I've already lost a whole lot of my infantry, and I'm moving in piecemeal. I'm doing everything wrong in this battle, everything. And Prussian Prince chose the right army, he chose the right terrain, and then I did everything right into his hands. So that was part of my problem in this battle. I shouldn't have done that. My men are demoralized at this point because of friends routing, and it says projectiles overhead, so that's from the whistling arrows. So my men are just all kinds of demoralized. I can't really get my cav in here to support, just because he's got all these spears. I'm trying to break up his box and get in and hit those matchlock samurai, because if I don't, there's no chance of me winning. But he's just got too many spears, and the terrain is blocking me from being able to get around. So it really leaves me in terrible position. His matchlock samurai just continue to fire and fire and fire, and that's going to cause me to lose the battle and lose it quickly. So this battle was terribly bungled on my part. Very well played by Prussian Prince. He knew what type of army to choose for this terrain, and he chose that army, and he used it in exactly the way he intended to. And he's got a couple of Naginata warrior monks here as well. War cry activated. My men are just completely finished. So not only did he win this match, he completely freaking destroyed me. Like I said, I just did everything right into his hands, and you should never play a battle that way. And I did, and that's exactly what happens when you play a battle that way. So in any case, that was the first game. If he wins another, then he will have already won the best 2 out of 3, so I need to come back to game 2, ready to make a decent showing. Alright YouTube, let's get you the second battle of this this tournament, the best 2 out of 3 for round 1. Let me go back here and find it. Not sure exactly what game it is. Prussian Prince. Alright, so this is going to be game 2 right here. So in game 2, I learned from the mistakes of my first game. I knew that my skirmishing component was going to be inferior, and here I had to kind of weigh off the risk-reward of whether or not Prussian Prince would bring the same army. Now I figured he would, because he did very well with it in the first match, and he's probably expecting to be able to do well with it again. And so I had to think of the weaknesses of my army in the last one. Well, number 1, my bow warrior monk contingent was too weak, so I upped it to 4. And then I brought another few units. Now, a lot of you would probably think, Ariel, well, hopefully you cut down on your cavalry and just brought more swords. The problem with bringing more swords is that even if I bring more of them, I'm going to end up coming straight into his matchlocks if I use the same strategy, which I'm absolutely not going to use the same strategy I did last time. I'm going to make it appear that I'm willing to use the same strategy because it was so successful for Prussian Prince. So this time, I did put a couple of meat shield units up front. I've got 4 bow warrior monks, but if you look over here, I've now got 3 bow cavalry guarded by 2 Yari cavalry. Now some of you might think it wasn't very smart to bring even more cavalry when I knew that Prussian Prince was going to still have so many spears. I've only got 4 sword units once again have Nobunaga. I've got 3 more Yari Ashigaru besides my 2 meat shield. So my tactic hopefully is clear to you all. I was hoping on Prussian Prince using the same army, and that he did. He used the exact same army. So I want him to box up and take a defensive position somewhere, because that's where these bow cav are going to come into play. I now have 7 bow units to his 4, and his matchlock units are outranged by any of my bow units. So I got rid of my matchlock for this match, basically, and traded him for the bow cavalry. And so here I made it look like I was going to rush this hill, so Prussian Prince is going to turn in here to take up a more defensive position since my cav is incoming. And at this point I'm going to turn and go straight down here in the center. Now that was a very successful tactic for him last time, and he's probably hoping that it will be used successfully again. Now my bow cav do have quite a bit of ammunition. It is limited. I want to make sure that I use it in the best possible manner. I've put them into loose formation. I've gone ahead and taken a few shots at his spears, and then I want to get the first shots in the archery duel. So I've gone ahead and lined up, and whenever your opponent's using a meat shield, you have to click attack orders. So right here I haven't yet clicked the attack orders. That's a mistake on my part, but I will click those attack orders on his bow monks. So here you can see it should happen any moment here. My first volleys will start coming in, because I'm wasting arrows right now on these guys. Oh man, I didn't even get my attack orders in. Of course, most of his fire arrows right there just hit my meat shield unit too, so it works out. It's at this point, I think, yeah, I've now clicked attack orders on his bow monks one by one, so I'm attacking his bow monks 1 for 1. So even if he does win the skirmishing fight, I'll still have all this bow cavalry out here to whip up on him with as far as arrows go. Now he's going to put all his men in loose formation because he doesn't want my bow cav to just sit there and rail on him. I was going after his general because his general's in stand and fight, and that's going to help his skirmishing abilities. And he has focus fired on this one unit right here and is about to knock it out. but all I want to do is damage his bow units to the point to where they're no longer useful. And I've already done some pretty decent damage to all of them. But you can see his focus fire did knock one of my bow monks completely out of the fight. So here I'm going to take my bow cab up on this hill. Or no, sorry, that's my Yari cab. I'm going to take it around and try and threaten his archers from a different angle. I've still got my bow cab in the back harassing his army. I'm trying to take shots at his general, but he's bringing his spears out to try and keep me out of bow range. The terrain is once again working quite well for the Prussian Prince. Now here he's going to move up his matchlock samurai and attempt to try and blast me out even sooner. And that was a good move, I think. But I'm still going to try and focus on his bow warrior monks. I want these guys out of the fight. And he's only going to be hitting mostly my meat shield with his matchlock samurai. Now he's using his spears quite well, but he's right in the middle of this terrain, so I'm going to go up on this hill with my bow cav, and I can start launching down arrow fire from the top of the hill. So that's now my strategy, and then I've brought my Yari cav over here to draw even more of his spears out. And so you can see that I'm unboxing his formation here, which is a danger to him. He doesn't want me to unbox him like that, because that's one of the strengths of this army. I'm going to take my time here and skirmish out as many of his men as I can. I've wrecked 2 of his units of bow warrior monks. He does still have all of his matchlock, which is going to be an issue. But I'm going to patiently try and wreck out as many of his skirmish units as possible. And here I'm hitting his matchlock samurai with my bow monks. And they will quickly start to draw their numbers down. You can see I've drawn some of his infantry out away from the fight. My bow cav is up on the hill. Let's watch where they're firing. They're firing right down here onto the backs of these matchlock samurai. So again, I'm going for his matchlock units, and if I can take them away from him, it'll help give me an advantage in this fight. So yeah, my bow cav are all firing at his matchlock samurai, which are being whittled down in numbers, and thus being whittled down in their effectiveness. I'm also making him charge me, where I have a good position on this hill, and then I have bow cav firing into his flanks all the while. So you can see that this time I'm definitely making better use of strategy and playing to the weakness of my opponent's army. If I were Prussian Prince, I would have brought a totally different army this time, just that way to throw me off. Again, though, he had very good success with that army last time, and it's really no wonder that he brought the same army again. Now I want his units to kind of bunch up here. I've got a spear wall, so I'm going to try and hold them back, wear them down, and then I'm going to try and take advantage of little bitty holes like this for hammer and anvil strikes. Now Prussian Prince is going to do a pretty darn good job of keeping his sword unit safe. However, here I got a nice Yari charge in and really hurt that Katana Samurai, and he's forgot about this unit here. So I'm just trying to keep a close eye on it. Oda Nobunaga is now in stand and fight. My men have better position on this hill. I am still outnumbered, and he does still have some matchlock fire going on, although it's been greatly reduced. He's also got some bow fire going on. Again, it's been greatly reduced. So that's the big difference between this battle and the last one. And I do have cavalry completely to the rear of his army, and I am firing at his general, trying to take his general's numbers down. And if I can kill his general, that would be a big effort. Or a big win for me, I should say. He has broken around my flank right here, though, and that's going to be a problem. So I can see that my men are going to lose this fight if I let it go on for too long, but right here I inched my Yari cav through the little gap in his spears and charged his general in an attempt to try and kill him. He's going to react with these spears, and when he reacts, that opens up this right here to a hammer and anvil charge by my bow cav. And his men were just starting to waver there, so that's where I'm going to smack into him. He does have these warrior monks, though, so they will not break. My hope is to try and break those sword units. But anything I can do to play against his morale is going to help me. Here I just wiped out that bow warrior monk unit, and I'm going to put even more cav into the rear of his men. And you can see that indeed I did break his sword unit there. But again, he's broken through my flank over here, so it's still a very dangerous situation. My swords in the center have broken through and are now hitting his bow warrior monks. He's chasing me out with those Yari Ashigaru, so now my swords here should be able to win that fight against his Naginata monks. His general is down to 9 men. He did survive, but now his general is in close quarters combat with more of my Katana Samurai, so his general is not able to give that stand and fight boost that he's going to need, and my men still have the, well, they had the boost. I guess Oda Nobunaga just died too. So this time chaos reigned, and I was able to take advantage of some of those little bitty things. He completely forgot about this Yari Ashigaru unit, which I was completely fine with. He can leave it there as long as he wants, and that'll work just fine for me. My swords are going to be able to mop up these Yari Ashigaru. The monks already routed. You can see that his general's now routed, and my swords are destroying what's left of these sword units. And here I'm going to use my cavalry to distract these samurai from being able to fire and try and turn the tide of this battle. So this time I'm actually proud of the way I played. Prussian Prince still played very well. It's just that I was able to, like I said, take advantage of his army. I knew that the weakness of his army was mobile archers, because whenever you have that box formation, the mobility and the missile fire from Bocab is going to be a major weakness to you. And then the fact that I could match him head-on with my own archers really made that a problem. So good game to Prussian Prince. I was glad I came around here and redeemed myself after that terrible first battle, but it wasn't an easy fight for me by any means. Like I said, good game to Prussian Prince on that. Let's go on to the third match. Alright, this is going to be my third match against the Prussian Prince for the tournament. The winner of this match will proceed in the tournament, and the loser will be eliminated. It is a single elimination tournament. Now, as far as these tournaments go, I'd always like to do well, but at the same time, I find it kind of to be a learning experience and an opportunity to play against players who are very good, and also who are also YouTube commentators. So that's one of the reasons why I like these. I don't necessarily play these tournaments expecting to win. There's always that hope, but I, by all means, don't expect it. I know there's some very good players in this tournament, and I think the likelihood of me actually winning all the way through undefeated is probably extremely low. But all that said, I hope you all enjoy the videos, and you can always go to Point Man's channel and check out the remainder of the matches throughout the tournament, because he will post them all. I obviously will only be posting matches that I'm involved in. So I've brought pretty much the same army again. I've got my 4 Bow Warrior Monks, except for this time I brought a couple of Matchlock Ashigaru, or Matchlocks, yeah, Matchlock Ashigaru, instead of a couple of more Matchlock... I brought a couple of more Matchlock Ashigaru instead of a couple of more Yari Ashigaru, my bad. And I have 2 Yari Cab and 3 Bow Cab again. Prussian Prince has brought pretty much the same army, except for that he's thrown 3 Bow Cab into the mix because he wants to take that mobility away from me, and otherwise he's pleased with the way his army is performing. Now, I'm going to immediately run my Yari Cav towards these Bow Cav for a couple of reasons. 1, the Yari Cav can outrun them, and 2, the Yari Cav can outfight them. So even if he does get a few kills, my Yari Cav will be able to chase him down. So I want to knock his Bow Cav out of this fight early, so that it'll leave him in the same position as he was in the last match. Now this time he is starting to move back here behind this hill. I do not want that to happen. I don't want him to get that good defensive position or to be able to capture this hill. So I'm going to, like I said, come over here, chase his Bow Cav. I kind of figured I would catch him here, but this uphill kind of slowed my men down and gave his Bow Cav just enough time to start to pull away. And over here I've taken my Bow Cav out to the far flanks, and I'm going to pull them around. I'm going to use this opportunity to try and capture the center position, but I'm going to try and scoot on through here too, because I don't want to get caught in this narrow channel again. I want to have some room to maneuver. Now my Yari Cav do start to catch his Bow Cav here and get a few kills, but he's got these dang spears here, and I have to call off the attack right when it was about to be start to get good. But I cannot lose my Yari Cav this early in the fight. So I did kill a couple of his Bow Cav. I really wanted to knock those guys out. And again, the terrain on this map is going to make it easier for Prussian Prince to defend those Bow Cav, because there's choke points and cliffs and hills and all kinds of stuff like that. Now, I had to play as the Oda. He got the Date. I hate the Oda, to be honest. I'm not going to use it as an excuse for the way I perform in here, but I just don't like the Oda because I don't like the Ashigaru bonus. It's worthless. It sucks. Ashigaru troops suck to begin with, and just giving them an extra morale and maybe an extra point of attack and then charging me 50 more Koku for it is totally not worth it, because I can just get that with a Chevron anyway, and it's about the same cost. So to me, the Oda blow. They might as well be the Mori or the Hojo and have no bonus, in my opinion. And some people say, well, hey, their bows are better. Well, their bows are better, but knowing that Prussian Prince has Bow Warrior Monks, my Bow Ashigaru will get routed in like maybe 1 or 2 volleys. So the bow stuff is worthless. So that's why I think the Oda are worthless. The Date are a decent clan. They have better Nodachi Samurai. That is pretty much their only bonus. However, Nodachi Samurai are pretty good units, and if used appropriately, they'll do quite well. This is not really the best map for Nodachi Samurai, though, because Nodachi Samurai fare better on open, flat ground. And Prussian Prince has chosen not to use them for whatever reason, which is probably due to their vulnerability to arrows. They are quite vulnerable to arrows, and if he had brought Nodachi Samurai, I would be harassing them heavily with my Bow Cav. So I've scooted through this little narrow space here. There's kind of a hill in between us. I wanted to try and capture this hill so I could again fight downhill, but I can't move up or his Bow Warrior Monks will start shredding me. So I'm going to have to go ahead and fight with the position I have. He doesn't necessarily have an uphill position either, so this is kind of the neutral zone right now. Now, again, I'm going to try and kill his Bow Cav. I want to get my Yari Cav in here, but all he has to do is simply retreat to the safety of his spears. But I am going to do my best to take these guys down. Now, he's using Swooping Crane, I'm not really sure how effective that is on this game. It's hard to say. I don't really think it does a whole lot to save your men from losses like it did on Rome Total War. He did get a whole lot of shots into my bow cav, though, from his bow warrior monks as well, which is unfortunate. But I'm going to go ahead and start opening fire on his bow warrior monks. And I definitely intend to try and win the bow fight, because if I can win it, I can draw him into the infantry fight of my choosing. So that's why I'm going to do that. Another thing that I should have done in this, well, I'll show you later in this match, something I should have done. You can see that I've pretty much lost this bow unit here. I keep moving it, and he's firing at it with his bow warrior monks. In some ways that's good, in some ways that's bad. Good because it allows me more time to fire at his bow monks with my own. Bad because I'm losing a horse archer unit, and he's going to have more of them than I do. Now here, this is what I'm talking about where the terrain makes this difficult. He's going to squeeze his bow cav right through this little spot. So now he's got bow cav over here on this flank, and my Yari cav would have to run all the way back around my army, at which point he could just move back through. So that's where the terrain really helped him out on this map and was really frustrating to me. Now I did get the drop on his bow warrior monks. I'm straight out beating his bow warrior monks with my own. And another thing that I want to do is I want to be able to take his general out of this fight. He's got him in stand and fight. These guys are over here firing. And they're firing at my bow warrior monks and my Yari Ashigaru, which is fine. I'm just going to let them do that because they're not going to cause all that much damage, and they're going to get really tired. That's one of the bad things about the swooping crane formation here too, is that your units get really tired. So you can see that I'm definitely cleaning up on the bow fight. His bows are very badly hurt, and mine are doing quite well. Now my bow cav, let's see, I believe I'm trying to target his general, or no, I'm targeting one of his bow warrior monks, trying to turn this bow fight even more to my favor. Because if I can win this bow fight, when the infantry fight begins, I can just start peppering his general with bow warrior monks and my bow cav. And if I can kill his general early, it could give the death blow that I need to finish this fight off. Again, I'm not really concerned about his cavalry over there. I'm just going to keep my Yari cav back here just in case he tries to do something. So you can see that he's losing a bow monk right there. Indeed, he lost them. I have the whistling arrows effect on him. He has the same on me. So one of his bow monks has just been destroyed, and I have a definite, or two of his bow monks have been destroyed, so and I have now a very definite skirmishing advantage. I have 3 bow monks left, as opposed to his 2. He does have these bow calves still, and this one I had an attack order, so they're marching forward. Kind of dangerous right there. I shouldn't have that happening. I'm now firing at his general with my bow cav. I want to take down units of his general unit, make it weaker, hopefully kill his general. Isn't too likely to kill his general with bow cav, but you know, it's always worth a shot. And you can see that I just killed 4 of his general unit and chased off his general's horses, so his general is now on foot. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it can be. And I'm forcing his matchlock samurai forward. Now this is the point in the battle where I make the mistake. My mistake is that I should have started firing at these matchlock samurai now that his bow warrior monks are ruined. And I should have also brought up my matchlock Ashigaru at this point to also skirmish. And that would have been extra skirmishing power for me. I was thinking, though, oh, maybe it'll be good for me to keep these matchlock samurai to the end, and I will use them in the very end to help blast his men when it comes down to it, because I don't need them right now. It was a mistake. I should have used them now. The pressure's on the Prussian Prince now. I could get out here. I could cause even more damage to his matchlock units by using mine. It was my mistake. So you can see I am firing at his matchlock unit. But it just, like I said, this was just a bad move by me. Just a stupid move. I'm going to bring my Yari cav over here and try and chase off his bow cav. I did let my bow cav over here get caught because my attention was elsewhere, but I'm going to pull them out of that pretty quick. Again, I should have been using my matchlock samurai, or my matchlock Ashigaru here. This was just a stupid mistake for me. Absolutely stupid. I also should have put these guys into tight formation on spear wall. That would have been more damaging, so I made another mistake there. And I've allowed his matchlock samurai to come up here and fire. This would have been the perfect time for me to counterfire on them with my matchlock Ashigaru. Again, I took no action because I'm focusing with my cav. Just a stupid mistake. I'm so mad I did that, but that is what I did. And it was a dumb mistake. So Nobunaga's horses just got chased off as well, so he's now going to be dismounted general. I'm finally moving my matchlock Ashigaru out to the flanks, thinking this to be the best move. But at this point, my mistake was too critical, and I allowed his bow cavalry to come up here and charge my swords. So, like I said, just bungle-headed mistake. And then I go ahead and make another mistake, which is to charge my cav in here prematurely, and they're too close to his spears. And then I tried to drag them back here to attack his general. He just had too many men, and I end up losing a lot of cav that I really badly needed. Plus, his matchlock opens fire, so that was just another bungle-headed mistake on my part. Just really stupid. Now I aim to still go after his general with my bow cav, But I just lost pretty much all my Yari Cav right there, and I really needed those guys for those hammer and anvil strikes that are going to become necessary later. Just stupid mistake. And then out here I let his bow cav catch my matchlock Ashigaru also. Another stupid mistake. So I took damage to all my swords. Not a whole lot because it was just bow cav. And here I am trying to split up his army a little bit, but he's doing a good job of pursuing with his matchlock samurai. And my men were here all distracted by his bow cav, and so he's going to get shots on them as well. I am splitting up his men. I probably should have run through here and hit these swords from behind real quick just to try and get an advantage, but like I said, at this point I'm just making all kinds of dumb mistakes. So I'm trying to back up and get a better position, but some of my mistakes have just been made at this point, and I'm now in a terrible position to try and win this battle. Just terrible position. He's got a good infantry advantage. He's still got these two matchlock. I bungled a lot of my cav. I did win the bow fight, but at this point I have no bow warrior monks left, so it's not doing me any good. So like I said, I should have skirmished earlier, skirmished with these matchlock samurai and at least cut them down to size. That way they wouldn't be as effective right now. Here I'm trying to charge this Yari Cav through and hit his matchlock samurai while they're reloading. Again, this was way too premature. I should have used these cav better. I am going to hit his matchlock samurai over here as well. Again, too premature. I came from the wrong angle, and then I didn't follow up this distraction with a charge. So that was my mistake. I should have charged in my katana samurai right now. And but instead I'm retreating my men back thinking, oh, I can find a better position to fight from. This was just stupid because this is just going to give his matchlock units more time to reform, and the sacrifice of my cavalry was made void here. I should have just been aggressive. I should have attacked. I didn't, though. My only chance to win was to just be aggressive and attack right there, and I blew it. So now I've sacrificed all my cav, and I now have extremely little chance of winning this fight. I'm outnumbered. His matchlock units are better. Yeah, like I said, just stupid mistake here. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through the rest, as I think you all know what's going to happen. I try and get whatever advantage I can, try and pull things out here. I do fight. I've used my matchlock, but I mean, you can see that his matchlock are just, the damage is done, and they're going to be able to take me down. So it's going to end up being a close fight, but I just don't have enough men to pull this off. So sometimes the little things end up making a big difference in the end, and I just, you know, I should have paid closer attention to my cav charges, and I should have been more decisive when I did charge my cav. I should have used my matchlock better, and Prussian Prince was able to capitalize on those mistakes and end up pulling a victory out of this. So what does that mean? It means Heir of Carthage is out of the tournament on the first round. Some of you may be surprised. I'm not necessarily, because I knew that Prussian Prince was a good player and knew that this was full well possible. At least I played the second two games good. I was pretty disappointed in my performance in the first game, but you know, since I turned around and played those two good matches after that, I can feel good about it. There'll always be more tournaments in the future, I'm sure. In fact, I kind of have intentions of hosting one in the future. I'm not sure exactly what type of tournament that'll be or how I pull it off, but we'll figure it out. Anyway, hope you enjoyed those matches. Hope you learned something from them. Good game to Prussian Prince. Good luck to him and all my other friends in the Point Man's Commentator Tournament. Hope they all do well. It should be interesting. I will put a link to Prussian Prince's channel and also to Point Man's channel so that you can try and watch the tournament stuff as it unfolds.